Good morning, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Pat Cavlin here with a look at just what's going on. Just a quick radar check before we get on the air at 4:30 this morning. You can see we're mainly dry, or at least we've been dry so far downtown, but we do have a good line of soaking rainfall, no thunderstorms with this moving into the Beltway. But again, this is starting to push off towards the north and east. It's pretty progressive. It's moving pretty quickly, so we're not expecting any flooding to come from that batch of rain. It has been quite the soaker of a morning, though, up through Montgomery, San Jacinto, Polk counties here, even up towards Walker County. We've seen quite a bit of rainfall in just the last few hours alone. As we kind of pause the image and recenter the shot, you can see the heaviest now moving out towards the Beaumont area, into portions of far east Texas and Louisiana. Again, here's the one downpour that we're watching, just coming into the city now, down 290 across 45 up towards 69 as well. That is going to push through the city here over the next hour, and then it should be off to the east as we go through the next few hours, the rest of the morning. But rain totals, again, have been pretty impressive up towards the Conroe area especially. That's one of the areas where we've seen quite a bit of rain. It's been very, very localized, right? So on the south side of town, we're closer to about 1 to 2 inches, but right on the north side of town, we've seen 4 to 5 inches of rain, and this all came down in just a few hours. So there was some ponding on the roadways. Some of the bayous up there started to fill up pretty quickly, but we don't have any reports of significant flooding, which is good news. And that's just because of how dry it's been, right? You know, we really need the rainfall, so we are able to take a little more rain than if we had been seeing more over the past few weeks, right? So if this has been a normal summer where we're getting these afternoon storms every single day for weeks on end, and you get this, that's where the flooding threat comes into play. But because we need that rainfall, we're able to take a little more than typically than in a typical summer. But still impressive rainfall numbers here. Down to the south, also very localized here, going from Jersey Village all the way up towards Aldine. We've seen about 1 inch towards this area, about 2 inches around the Aldine area. And then once you get farther north and west, you've seen about 4 to 5 inches, especially once you start to get into that darker red shading. So very localized strips of rainfall here. You know, places like Cypress really haven't seen too much of anything in the past few hours. And then you jump down here and we're talking about a quarter of, 1 to 4 inches of rain. Pretty good downpour right now down towards Galveston, the Bolivar Peninsula. But again, Galveston, you're starting to dry out right now. League City, Alvin, Texas City, up towards Baytown, Channelview. You are all dry for the moment, but we could see a few showers roll through the area as we go through the rest of the morning. So again, on the wider shot, this is how things look. The heaviest of the rain, mainly off towards Beaumont, getting into Louisiana. We're seeing a lot of drying out towards Brenham, Bryan College Station, Huntsville, Katy. You're waking up this morning, you're going to be good. It's really areas in and around downtown and then out towards the east that we'll be watching for in the immediate near term. So the focus for these rain chances are going to be along this frontal boundary, but the area of low pressure that's really sparking off this rain is moving out towards Louisiana. So that's where the focus for the heavy rainfall is going to be today, and that's reflected in the flood threat here. So there's a 4-level threat that we use for flooding, and you can see it goes from marginal, which is threat level 1, to high, obviously being the highest level, that's a level 4. So out towards northern Louisiana along I-20, that's where they're seeing a threat level 3. So that's where the focus for that flooding threat is going to be as we go through today. We are still included. There is a pretty large swath of real estate that goes all the way back towards San Antonio that's in a threat level 2. So even though the radar is pretty quiet right now, that doesn't mean that we don't see showers and storms develop as we go through the afternoon. So the threat is still there, mainly from I-10 and points north. We do have a marginal, very low end threat level 1 for our areas to the south of 59, to the south of I-10 as we go through the afternoon. But I think mainly the core threat for any flooding is going to be from I-10 and points north as we go through the afternoon. So that's a quick breakdown, a quick check of radar. Again, if you're headed out the door this morning and you live west of downtown Houston, you should be okay. If you live to the north, you should be okay. It's areas to the east over the next hour or two that will probably start with the most active conditions, but we do see showers and storms in the forecast of the afternoon. We'll talk about that coming up on the KHOU 11 Morning News starting at 4:30. We'll see you then.